Hello everyone, good afternoon and thanks for joining us for this webinar presentation on automatic pool cleaners. Today we're going to be reviewing robotic and suction. My name is Roberto Sablon. I am the sales manager for Latin America and the Caribbean, and I'm going to be presenting this webinar today. We always like to start showing a little bit of our company, who we are. Hayward was founded in 1925, and we have sales and presence in more than 100 countries around the world. Just as a reminder, the webinars that we have been doing so far, first and the second week, we did variable speed pumps, filtration, gas heating, heating with heat pumps, and also lighting and water features, and sanitization. This week, we have been doing automation. We did yesterday and the day before, both the OmniLogic and the OmniHub. Hope you were able to participate. And today, we're going to be reviewing automatic pool cleaners. These webinars, we're going to be posting them over to this website, hayward-webinar.com. They're going to be posted there by the end of this week, and then you will be able to go in and review all of the webinars that we have done so far. And then for next week, also remember to register. We are going to be sending out an email once again over the weekend for automation. We're going to be going in depth into programming the systems that we already saw, the OmniHub and the OmniLogic. And then also we're going to be doing next week commercial filtration and recirculation with pumps, and also doing commercial automation and chemistry. So keep an eye for that and make sure to please register individually for each of those sessions. Remember, each of them is an individual registration. During today's presentation, if you have any questions, please write it under the questions section in this app, and we are going to review all of the questions by the end of the seminar. So what we are going to review today is why offer automatic pool cleaners, some of the benefits of automatic pool cleaners in general, and then we're going to be going into some models of the robotic cleaners and also some options on the suction cleaners. We are just going to be taking a look at those models that we think it is good for our market in Latin America and the Caribbean, based on the amount of pools that we have and based on the shape of the pools that we have. So we do have some other cleaning options, but these are the ones that are going to be the focus for today. So benefits of automatic pool cleaners. Why should we offer an automatic pool cleaner to the customer? Well, obviously, it's going to make the pool more enjoyable, and it's going to reduce the amount of work required in order to keep the pool sparkling clean. If you are like me, every time I see a pool and there's any type of debris or dirt, floating around, then obviously that is not a very good-looking pool, even if the design is absolutely perfect. So by offering automatic pool cleaners, we're going to ensure that our pool is always sparkling. It is also going to help improve circulation and eliminate dead spots. What we mean by that is the automatic pool cleaner is going to be moving all around the pool, and we're going to see that some models even are going to climb the walls and so on. So many times when the pools are built, we didn't take into account necessarily the amount of returns, and the returns were not properly placed in order to cover all of the pool. So many times it creates dead spots, especially on the corners and on the steps and so on. So the pool cleaner is going to help us eliminate those dead spots by improving circulation, moving around the pool all the time. It also helps minimize stains. What we say by that is, many times when a leaf falls into the pool, for example, and it goes into the bottom and it starts decaying, well, that decaying of the leaf is obviously going to create stains in our surface. By having an automatic pool cleaner that is going to constantly be picking those up before they actually decay, then that is going to help minimize any type of staining issues that we might have on the pool. It also reduces chemical and labor cost. Reducing chemical cost because obviously if we improve circulation, then our pool is not going to turn green as often and we don't have to be shocking constantly. And it is going to reduce labor cost because obviously now we don't have to be going in necessarily chasing all of the leaves and the debris that is around the pool. It helps reduce water usage by minimizing the amount of backwash cycles. We are going to see today some of the robotic pool cleaners, how they help minimize backwash by taking all of the dirt, having it in a canister that is easy for you to, or the homeowner, to dump it out without all of that debris going back into the filter, where we have to do backwashing. And then when we do backwash, we obviously lose water and we also lose chemicals. And some of the benefits of the cleaners that we're going to see today is that they are easy to retrofit into any existing swimming pool. So we have the models that we're going to be reviewing today. They are on purpose meant to be retrofitted into an existing pool without having to do any kind of plumbing change or any renovations. So here are the two technologies that we're going to be reviewing. Robotic is fully autonomous. What we mean by that, it has a motor built in, it has a drive mechanism built in, and it doesn't need the filtration system in order for it to work. Some models also, again, they improve filtration because they have a cartridge style canister to where all of the debris is going to be accumulated. And obviously, as the water passes through that filter, through that canister, it's also going to help with the filtration. It doesn't clog up the filter because remember, the canister itself is the one holding all of the debris. The debris doesn't go back into your pump or to your filter. Some of the features or the drawbacks with this is it has a higher upfront cost compared to suction, but we are going to be seeing both of them today. Obviously, it helps improve air circulation. Like we mentioned already, it's going to be moving around and it helps our water mix more efficiently. The robotic cleaners are great at climbing. So what that means is if we have a pool with a close radius, just a perfect 90-degree angle on the bottom, the robotic is still able to climb that pool, to where the suction cannot do that, doesn't have that feature of climbing a perfect 90-degree angle on a pool. And then some of the things to keep in mind with robotic is that it has to be taken out of the pool every now and then, obviously, to empty the debris canister and be able to clean up this filtration system that it has some of them. Now going into suction, some of the benefits and drawbacks of suction is it is going to use the hydraulic system. It is going to use our pump, circulation pump, and it is going to use our filter in order for it to move. So we have to keep that in mind because obviously the suction units, they are not going to work independently. They are going to work every time our filtration system works. The debris can end up on the filter, or we also have an option for an inline canister. We are going to see the benefit of that inline canister in order to avoid all of the debris going back into our pump basket or going back into our filter. Some of the benefits with suction, it has the lowest upfront cost. Normally, suction is about half the price of a robotic. So if you have a customer that is interested in an automatic pool cleaner, but they want something a little bit less expensive, then suction is a good option for them. Suction is also very easy to troubleshoot and repair. Because remember, since it doesn't require any electricity, all of it is mechanical moving parts. So it is easy for us to just by looking at it, see what needs to be changed and what needs to be repaired compared to the robotic, which is electric. And many times, many of us are not comfortable opening it up and doing troubleshooting with it. Suction also helps improve circulation. Remember that this unit is going to be moving around the pool. It is not going to be on a fixed place. So that is also going to help improve circulation. And suction is also a great benefit. Keep in mind, when there's a pool that has a problem with the main drain and the main drain had to be plugged or cut away, now we can offer a suction cleaner in order to keep the bottom of the pool as well circulated and avoid those dead spots. Suction also can be left on a pool 24/7, and every time your circulation pump runs, if you have it on a timer, then the suction automatic pool cleaner is going to start doing its job by itself. And we are going to see how some of the newer models that we have, including this one that we're going to be seeing today, it is great at working with low speed or variable speed pumps. All right, going into the products now, we're going to start with robotic pool cleaners. We're going to look at the TigerShark, the SharkVac, and the AquaVac 6 series. We're going to see the difference between them and some of the benefits between all of them as well. The TigerShark has a 3-hour cleaning cycle, and it is able to clean both the floor, the walls, and the water line. So we also have a model that we call the TigerShark Quick Clean, or the QC, and that QC model also has a fast cycle of just 90 minutes runtime. So if the pool is a little bit dirty but doesn't require a lot of time, then the homeowner, the customer, might be able to use that 90-minute cycle, and it's going to do a quick sweep of the entire pool. These models also keep in mind that they are voltage specific. So if you have 115 volts, you have to get that motor specifically. If your country has 230 volts, make sure that you get the 230-volt unit. The TigerShark is excellent at the debris pickup. So all of the dirt is going to be very easy to pick it up with the TigerShark because it has a cartridge-style basket, and we're going to see that a little bit further down more in detail. And it is also equipped with auto water and beach entry sensor. What that means is if you have a pool with a beach entry with a slope entry, then the TigerShark is a great option because it is not going to get out of the pool. It is going to detect the air and it is going to go back into the water. And here we see a little bit more of detail between the TigerShark and the TigerShark QC. Both of the units are able to do the floors, the walls, and the water line. But the QC model, remember, it has that 3-hour timer, but the cycle, but then it also has a 90-minute quick clean. Both of them are manual start, so the homeowner basically puts the cleaner into the pool and hits the button in order for it to start working and do its cycle. Both of them are recommended for a maximum of a pool of 20 by 40 or 6 by 12 in meters. The pool surfaces recommended for this is gunite. Gunite is basically like diamond bright or one of these cement finishes or pebble. And then we can also do vinyl, fiberglass, and tile, but those units are going to require a foam roller, as we see here on this picture. That foam roller is different from the rubber that we see on the picture on the top, because that foam is going to help us better adhere to pool surfaces that are very slippery, like vinyl or fiberglass, and at the same time, it is going to be able to go up the wall. If we put one of the units with a rubber roller into a slippery tile pool, for example, it might not be able to go up the wall. But with the foam roller, then it can. And both of the units come with a 55-foot cord. And it is important to note how easy the power supply it is. Power supply on the TigerShark, on the conventional one, is just a one-button operation. So we just press it and set it, and it is going to be doing its job for 3 hours, and then it's going to stop automatically. On the TigerShark QC, the power supply is very simple as well, but now we have an option here, a button, to where we can run it the standard cycle, or we can run it the QC cycle, the quick clean. So just by pressing that button, we are able to select toggle between the two modes. Also keep in mind with the TigerShark units that we have a caddy or a cart that is optional. But if the homeowner wants a cart in order to bring it to the pool or back to the garage in order to storage and make it easier, then this cart is available. And now we're going to take a look at our SharkVac. The SharkVac is a similar unit, but now we have two different options. We have a SharkVac, the standard, which is for floors only. And then we have the SharkVac XL, which is going to do the floor, the walls, and the water line. So the standard unit is not going to go up the wall. It is designed just in order to maintain the bottom of the pool. But that's many times where most of the debris is going to accumulate anyways. Keep in mind as well with these models, we have both options available as well when it comes to voltage, 115 or 230, depending on your power configuration in your country. And it is very easy to maintain these units because we're going to see how the basket is right on top. So it's, in order to open it, we just lift this lid and we have access directly to our debris in order to clean it out. And this unit, the XL, the SharkVac XL, also comes with the auto water and the beach entry sensor. So to keep that in mind, because obviously the standard SharkVac that is meant to be floors only, it doesn't need that because it is not going to be going up the walls. And here we see some more information on the SharkVac. As we can see on this first picture, it is very easy to open the lid and get access to the debris basket. The debris basket, as we can see here, we can take out the filter elements in order to clean them up. We also have a coarse filter element, or we call it a spring cleanup element that we can see here in blue. And that filter element is just meant in order to pick up the large debris, the leaves, the twigs, and the little rocks. It is not meant to pick up the fine debris. Also keep in mind as well that with all of our robotic cleaners, they have a roller at the front, and there is also a roller on the back. So that is going to be a double scrub of the pool surface as it moves around. And it is very easy to remove the motor box, and we're going to see that a little bit later on a wiring diagram. How easy it is, because the motor box, in case there's any future need in order to do service, the motor box is totally enclosed, and it is just an easy swap out. Here we see some more details on the SharkVac. Remember, the standard unit is for the floors only, and the XL is the one that goes up the walls. Main difference between them on the cleaning cycle, the standard unit is a 2-hour cleaning cycle, because remember, we are going to be concentrating on the floors only, and then the XL has a cleaning cycle of 3 hours, so it has enough time as well to go up the walls. Both of them are manual start, very similar to what we saw with the TigerShark. Both of them are designed for pools maximum of 20 by 40 or 6 by 12 in meters. And the same applies if we have a cement finish on our pool, a plaster finish, then we can just use these rollers. But then if we go into vinyl, fiberglass, or tile, then the same, we need to change the rollers out into a foam roller. These units, they have 2 different cord lengths. On the standard unit, we have a 50-footer cord or 15 meters. And on the XL, we have a 60-foot or 18-meter cord. And also the caddy is included in some models. So for example, we can buy the SharkVac by itself, or we can buy it as a combo, as a kit, both the SharkVac with the caddy, and the same with the XL. We can buy the XL by itself, or we can buy the XL with the caddy, depending on what your customer prefers. And here we see how we do maintenance on these units. When it comes time to clean up the basket, all we are going to do is obviously dump out the debris, and then we are just going to hose down the filter element, the cartridge. Keep in mind not to hose it down with any kind of pressure washer or anything like that, because it is going to get damaged. So just with your garden hose, that is enough pressure in order to clean up any of the fine debris that might have been stuck to the element. And here we see the parts diagram. We have the parts available for absolutely both of the units. And here we can see the motor box that I mentioned to you guys about. The motor box is totally enclosed, so there's no service in order to be done inside the motor box itself. If for any reason it burns out after many years of service, then we just replace the motor box and that's it. All of the rollers are available, both in rubber and in foam. And if in the future we need any of the parts, we do have them available. Now, continuing with robotic, we're going to take a look at the AquaVac 6. This one we're going to take a closer look because it is a newer model that probably most of you haven't seen before. The AquaVac 6, we have it in 2 different configurations. We have the AquaVac 600 and the AquaVac 650. Main difference between both of them, we're going to see that one has more of a control options, the 650, because it has Wi-Fi configuration as well. But the good benefit with this unit as well is that it is universal. What we mean by that is it doesn't matter if you have 115 or 230 volts, then that's fine. You go with the same unit. The unit is able to adapt to any kind of power supply. And this unit is also going to do the floor, the walls, and the water line. And here we can see the big benefits, or the 4 elements that make this unit very different from any other robotic pool cleaner that you have seen before. It has a touch-free. What we mean by touch-free is that the debris disposal, we don't have to be hosing it down. It is just a matter of pressing a button. It's going to open up the compartment and all of the debris is going to fall out. So it is very easy for the homeowner to maintain. Then we have SpinTack. SpinTack is a hydrocyclonic technology, and what it does, it creates little tornadoes inside the unit in order to separate all of the debris from the rest of the water. It also has a HEXADRIVE adaptive traction. What that means is that it has 6 rollers on the bottom that we are going to see. So it is basically a 6-wheel drive unit. And the 650 model also has a Wi-Fi connectivity. So here's what we mean by touch-free. In order to clean up the canister, all we have to do is just press this button, and the lid is going to open with some water. The unit is going to keep about a couple of fingers of water on the bottom. So when you open it up, all of that water is going to help you dump all of the debris without having to actually go in with a hose and hose it down. So with all of the previous units that we have seen, we always need to hose down the filter element. With this one, we don't have to do that. We just press the button, let it open, and all of the debris is going to fall out by itself. So it's very simple, and there is no need for the homeowner to have any type of contact with the dirt that they are trying to dump. The other benefit that we have is the SpinTech hydrocyclonic technology. This is those little tornadoes that I mentioned to you guys about. And those little tornadoes are going to basically help separate all of the debris from our clean water in the pool. The good benefit with this system as well is that we do not lose any suction because we don't clog up a filter element like it happens with the other units. So by not losing any suction, we are going to guarantee that the unit is always going to be able to climb the walls, and it is always going to be able to move the amount of waters and recirculate our water in the pool. We also have the HEXADRIVE adaptive traction. That HEXADRIVE, what it means is that the unit has 2 variable speed motors built inside, and those motors are going to drive these 6 wheels, 3 on one side and 3 on the other. So this is also important because the unit has a gyroscope and an accelerometer. So the unit knows and it is able to map your pool, because every time it goes up a wall, then the gyroscope is going to tell it, and it's going to help it create a map of the pool so that it has a more efficient pool coverage. And it is also very good with obstacle management, because as we are going to see, by having 6 wheels or a 6-wheel drive, the unit never gets stuck on a main drain or on the steps or anywhere else. So it's very efficient when it comes to moving around and having a full pool coverage. And we're going to see as well with those rollers that the unit does an excellent job at scrubbing the water line. The unit actually comes out of the water a little bit when it is scrubbing, and it is able to scrub all around the pool. And then the AquaVac 650 also has a Wi-Fi antenna built in. That Wi-Fi antenna is going to allow us to do advanced programming and remote control from our smartphone. We are going to see how the unit is going to connect. It's going to create its own Wi-Fi hotspot where we can connect our phone to it, then download a free app, and that app is going to give us full control of the unit, and it is also going to allow us to do some programming on when we want the unit to run. And here we can see that we also have a very intuitive power supply with self-diagnostics and also all of the programming directly built into the power supply as well. So if a customer has the AquaVac 600 that doesn't have Wi-Fi, they are still able to use the power supply as a controller in order to tell the unit when to run and not. So we can see the power supply actually has a kickstand, so it can be placed on the deck of the pool, or it can be placed on a table nearby in order to feed the power to our units. Remember that all of the robotic cleaners that we have are low voltage. What it means is that we feed 115 volts or 230 volts to the power supply, but coming out of the power supply, it is only 24 volts. So it is going to be safe to be used around the pool. We also do not recommend necessarily to have people swimming and the cleaner working at the same time, because we don't want the swimmers to get tangled with the cord or with the hose. So keep that in mind, that the cleaner should always be taken out of the pool when there's bathers in the water. And here we can see some of the power supply options. In this case, this is the 650. The 650 is going to give us 3 run modes. We can do just this one time. It can just be for a one time, set it, take it out, and then the homeowners constantly put it back in whenever they decide to. We can also have a scheduled run. So every week we can set specifically the dates and the times that we want the unit to run. This is for the 650. And then on the 600, we also have a 48-hour repetitive cycle. What that means is that every 48 hours, the unit is going to be going out in order to scrub all of our pool. Keep in mind that when the homeowner is going to leave it in this program, then obviously the cleaner needs to be in the pool in order for the cycle to run. If the cleaner is for whatever reason out of the pool, then it is going to stop, because remember, it has a sensor that tells it it is out of the pool. Then on the 650, we can also have 3 different types of programs. We can tell the cleaner to only do the floors. We can tell the cleaner to do only the water line, or we can tell the cleaner to do the entire pool. So it is very easy to select what kind of cycle we want the cleaner to do. And then also remember that both the 600 and the 650 have an indicator here when the basket should be checked and should be dumped. And here we can see that the power supply on the 600 units can be placed on a table or on the deck. It can also be mounted on the wall if the customer wants something more permanent, mounted on the wall and they just plug into a power outlet. Or also it can be placed directly on the cart, and we are going to see the options for that. These units, they also have what we call a tug and catch. If you pull on the cord 3 times, then the cleaner is going to know, okay, I have to go back because they are calling me. So if you pull on the cord 3 times, remember that the unit has a gyroscope. So if you pull on it 3 times, it is going to come back into the wall, so the owner can retrieve it out of the pool. And remember that we also have this convenient cart for the 600 and the 650 that comes included, and we can see it here on this picture. And then once the cleaner comes out to the side of the pool, then you can just pull it, the homeowner can just pull it out of the water. So we can see here how the cord actually has a handle built in that we see here. So it makes it very easy in order for it to be lifted out of our pool. And here we can see a chart that shows the main difference between the 600 and the 650. All of them have the touch-free, the spin tech, and the HEXADRIVE technology. So we are going to get the benefits. Doesn't matter which of the 2 cleaners we choose. Both of them have the tug and catch mechanism, and both of them have self-diagnostics. Now the 650, the options, the different options that the 600 doesn't have is the Wi-Fi hotspot, the Wi-Fi programming, remote steering, because remember that remote steering is only available on the 650 because remote steering is going to require us to have a Wi-Fi connection in order to download the app. And then also the spot clean, the weekly scheduling, and a light show as well that the 650 does. And the user diagnostics, all of that is available on the 650 because that requires the Wi-Fi communication. So that is the main difference between these 2 units. And then we are going to see here that all of them are able to do the floors, the walls, and the water line. Both of them have a 2.5-hour cycle if we want to cover the entire pool, or just 90 minutes if we want to do the bottom only. Remember as well, when it comes to cleaning modes, the 600 has 2 cleaning modes. It can just do the floors, or it can do the entire pool. And then the 650 has 3 cleaning modes. It can do the floor only, it can do the entire pool, or it can just concentrate on the water line. Both of them have recurring 48-hour cleaning modes, or the 650 also has the programmable weekly mode. So we can select exactly what days we want the cleaning to run and at what hours we want the cleaning to run. Both of them are available for recommended maximum size pools of 20 by 40 or 6 meters by 12 meters. If your pool is smaller than that, then that is not a problem, because remember that the unit is going to be mapping your pool, so that is not an issue. And then when it comes to pool surfaces, they are able to do plaster, organite, vinyl, fiberglass, and tile without having to change the rollers. Because remember, this unit has now 6 wheels, so when it comes to traction and when it comes to suction, It doesn't have the problems or the things to keep in mind as previous versions. Doesn't matter what type of pool finish we have, the unit is going to be able to go up the wall. And this one also comes with a 55-foot cord in order to reach most of the pool. And here we can see a comparison between the AquaVac 6 and some of the other units that you might have seen in the market. As you can see, we have absolutely everything covered when it comes to the technology. We also have Wi-Fi, and we also have some other good options, including the lift system that many of them do not have. We also have full canister indicator, so it tells the homeowner or the user when it is time to clean out the canister. Many of the other units in the market do not have that. And we see here, again, reminding you the ability of the touch-free, the spin tech, the HEXADRIVE, and Wi-Fi connectivity on the 650. And here we're going to take a look at some of the robotic cleaner installation tips and tricks that we recommend in order to have a successful use of our robotic cleaners. It is very important that before we put a robotic cleaner in the water, that the cable is actually, the cord is actually untangled. Many times customers just throw it in and they expect the unit to perform, but if the cable is not untangled, then the unit is not going to be able to perform as it should. So it's very important that before we put the cleaner in the water, we actually straighten out the cable and take out any kinks or any tangling that it might have. Also, use just the amount of cord that you need. Don't just dump all of the cord inside the pool, because then that is just going to create extra drag to the unit, and at the same time it is going to create a more possibility for it to get tangled in its own cord. So always make sure to place the power supply in the center of the pool. We want to be able to have access to all of the pool, but any extra cord, make sure you leave it outside. Also, the power supply should be placed on the shade, and at the same time, the power supply, you want to keep it at least 3.5 meters or more away from the pool. So we don't want the power supply sitting right next to the pool, because remember, power supply is high voltage is coming in, low voltage is coming out, and we don't want to place any high voltage accessories very close to the pool, because someone might knock it over by accident. So we want to keep it at least 3.5 meters or 12 feet away from the edge of the pool. Also, make sure that whenever we place a robotic cleaner in the water, we actually push it down and let it sink, because obviously robotic cleaners, they are made out of plastic, but we want all of the water to actually flood inside the unit so it can sink and it can perform as it should. Reminding you, this AquaVac 600 and 650, the tug mechanism that it has, that once we pull on the cord 3 times, the unit is going to come over to you. So make sure that the customer knows that they have to pull 3 times in order for the unit to come over. And then here we see the difference in the power supply between the 600 and the 650. The 600, as I mentioned, it has a one-time cleaning cycle, or it can be repeated every 48 hours. And then we also have cleaning modes for the entire pool or just the bottom of the pool. And we also have the empty canister indicator whenever the canister is full and needs to be cleaned out. And then on the 650, we have those options, but we also have extra options. Because remember that this one is going to connect to Wi-Fi. So we have the Wi-Fi LED indicator. We also have the custom programming that, remember, is going to be done through the app. And then when it comes to cleaning modes, we can clean the entire pool. We can clean just the water line, or we can clean just the bottom of the pool. So we are able to select more options by going with the 650. And here are some of the indicators that I just mentioned to you between the 2 different units. Keep in mind that when we are selecting one unit versus the other, these extra options on the 650 are there just because you are able to program some of it through the Wi-Fi app. Through the smartphone app. And here is also the unit is self-diagnostics, and what that means is that with LED lights and the color of the lights, it is going to tell you what is going on with the unit. So if for whatever reason, for example, there's an error, there's going to be a blinking light around the enter button, and it is going to do that, doesn't matter which of the two units you have. If there is a software update, it is also going to provide you that. And then also the tug and catch mechanism, it is going to do that on both units. Some of the troubleshooting, if the cord gets tangled, make sure that before the unit gets placed inside the water, the cord is untangled, because the unit is going to know how many turns it does to the left, and it is going to match that with the same amount of turns to the right. So that ensures that the unit actually doesn't tangle up the cord itself. So if the cord is getting tangled, it's because before we place it in, it's already tangled up. And then just some of the troubleshooting options. If for whatever reason you have a sharp edge in your pool, which most of us do not, and the unit is getting caught on that sharp edge, just keep in mind that there's a hole on the bottom that hole helps us secure the unit into our cards. But there's also a clip that comes with it. So if for whatever reason the unit is getting tangled or on sharp edges, make sure that you put that clip in, and that is going to help us avoid that problem. And if for whatever reason we get an error code showing that the unit has stopped working, just double check inside the canister, because it might be that the canister itself, the outlet, has been plugged with debris. So make sure that we double check on that. And if it has been plugged, let's just clean it out, place the unit back in, and we're ready to go. And then here we can see the Wi-Fi configuration. Remember that the 650 is going to create its own Wi-Fi hotspot. So we have to connect our smartphone into the Wi-Fi hotspot, and then the password is going to be Hayward AVC650. And that password is printed as well on the owner's manual. All of them are going to have the same password. Once we connect, then we can go in and change the name and change the password if we want to. And then here we can see how the unit is actually able to do firmware updates. For those of us that participated on the automation presentation, we saw how we can do firmware updates with automation. Well, now we can do firmware updates with automatic pool cleaners as well, to make sure that any kind of improvement when it comes to navigation and so on that we release, then the unit is always going to be up to date. And here we can see the upgrade process. Once the unit is done, it's going to restart, and then we go back in and connect once again. Once we go back in and connect, then we can, if we want to drive it to a specific spot, because remember this one has a spot clean as well, the 650 model, then we just click this button, this icon here on the bottom left, and then this wheel comes up. This wheel with the arrows is going to allow us to drive the unit left or right or front and back, however we decide. Once we take it over to the spot that is dirty, then we can just clean this. We just hit this spot clean feature, and it is going to start cleaning around that spot where we drove the unit to. If for whatever reason, when it comes to troubleshooting, we need to reset the Wi-Fi, all we have to do is press the timer and the mode button, press them together for 10 seconds, and that is going to give us the Wi-Fi reset. And then if we completely want to reset all of the programming that has been done on our cleaner, then we press both the timer, the mode, and the play button, the enter, at the same time for 10 seconds, and it is going to do a full reset of our cleaner as well. If for whatever reason the phone is not connecting to the Wi-Fi, just make sure that you go into your Wi-Fi settings and choose the AquaVac 650 signal, because remember, we need to be connected to the unit directly in order for it to work. And then once we do a reset on the Wi-Fi, if we need to do a reset, then we just go in and set up a new connection. Here are some of the parts option, spare parts on for the AquaVac 6 series. As you can see, we have absolutely everything available, all of the rollers and the cord and the power supply. So if in the future, for whatever reason, you need to get any of these parts or the gears, they are available, and it is not a problem in order to service them. And just as a reminder, with the AquaVac 6 series, again, we have the touch-free debris disposal, we have the SpinTech hydrocyclonic technology, we have the HEXADRIVE adaptive control, and we have Wi-Fi connectivity on the AquaVac 650. Now we're going to go into suction cleaners. We're going to be reviewing today our Aquanaut 250 and our Aquanaut 450. Remember that these suction cleaners, they are going to work in conjunction with your filtration pump. So these units are going to automatically start moving around once your filtration pump is on. Both of these, they have the V-Flex technology, and we're going to be reviewing more about that. That V-Flex technology also allows us to make sure that we maintain constant suction. And we also have advanced steering capability with both of them because they come pre-programmed with a steering sequence in order to ensure a complete pool coverage. My favorite, and I think this covers most of our residential swimming pools, is the Aquanaut 250. The Aquanaut 250 is for pools up to 16 by 32 or around 5 by 10 in meters. It turns every 8 to 10 feet. So about every 3 meters, it is going to turn automatically, and it has a two-wheel drive. That two-wheel drive is going to be ideal for smaller pools. Once we get into bigger pools to where we have more hose, then obviously the four-wheel drive is going to be a great option because it is going to give us more stability. But for smaller pools, for most residential pools, the two-wheel drive is more than enough. And the suction cleaners, remember that they are going to cover both the floor and the walls. But when it comes to the walls, remember that we need a radius on the bottom of our pool in order for the unit to be able to climb up. If we have a square 90 on the bottom of our pool and the wall, then the unit is not going to be able to climb up the wall. But let's keep in mind that most of the dirt in the pool is actually going to be on the bottom because that's where the dirt settles. Not a lot of dirt necessarily gets stuck into our walls. Both of them have the V-Flex technology, and both of them are able to cover both. They are able to cover plaster, vinyl, fiberglass, and tile. And here we can see the hose length. Both of the units, they come with the hose that they need, so we don't have to buy the hose separately. So the 250 comes with about 32 feet of hose, and the 450 comes with about 40 foot of hose. And the good thing with the V-Flex technology is that it actually works very well with low flow. So the Aquanaut series, some of the benefits that we have is obviously the V-Flex that we discussed already. It has excellent obstacle management. It has very good low flow operation. It has a superior suction when it comes to other units in the market because they have a skirt system. And then also the four-wheel unit then obviously have four-wheel drive on it. And here we can see some of these benefits one by one. V-Flex, what does that mean? Well, V-Flex is basically a hinge mechanism on this internal turbine. As we can see here, this is the turbine. Our hose is going to be connected here at the top, and obviously with the suction from our pump, this turbine mechanism is going to be spinning around. It's going to be moving. As we can see here with the hinge mechanism, it is going to open in order for some of these debris, some of these larger debris, some of the larger leaves and twigs and little coconuts are able to get through the system without it getting clogged up. So by this adjusting, then it is also great when it comes to lower speed, because when it comes to low speed units, it is going to close itself a little bit more in order for it to provide better suction and better movement. So these units, this Aquanaut series, they also come with interchangeable throats. What we mean is the bottom of the pool, as we see here, it comes with 3 different throats. And if we are going to be working with variable speed pumps, for example, low speed, then we can choose one of these throats that is smaller, and the unit is still going to be able to move around without any problems. Then here we also see the rollers. This roller skirt, what it means is if our pool surface is uneven, these roller skirts are automatically going to drop. And by dropping, it's going to ensure that all of the suction that we are producing from our pump is actually going to go directly into the surface of the pool in order to pick up any type of debris. And then also we have a unique pattern on the tires, on the threads, that offers very good traction in any type of pool surface. And we obviously have the 4-wheel drive option for larger pools. And here we can see how we compare with some of the competitors out there. As we can see, they don't have the B-Flex technology, so their units tends to clog up a lot more often than ours because of that. We also have dual steering, so that is going to ensure better coverage of our entire pool. We also have the interchangeable throats that we saw, and the unique tires in order to ensure traction in every type of swimming pool. Here we can see the suction pattern on the Aquanaut. We can see that it is quite big. It has a big path of suction. And at the same time, we can see that we have a strong suction all through the bottom of the unit. So what that is going to ensure us is that when just with one pass, it is going to pick up all of the debris. And here we can see some of the accessories. Remember that with suction cleaners, the debris normally goes into your pump basket and into your filter. Well, now we can have a leaf canister, and this leaf canister is going to help us pre-filter all of that debris that we are picking up with our automatic pool cleaner, so it doesn't end up on the pump basket or on our filter. We have 2 different options. We have a small one here with a basket, and then we have a larger leaf canister with a bag. That one with the bag is actually is a finer opening, so it is able to collect some of the dirt and some of the sand as well in order to prevent it from clogging our filter. We also have the unit includes backlock and a regulator. This backlock, remember, every time we have a suction port on the pool, we do not want that suction port just to be open. So this backlock is actually going to thread into the suction port, and it has a door here with a spring spring loaded in order to ensure that whenever our hose is not connected, the door is actually going to be closed. And then we also have a regulator that is able to adjust our flow. And then if for whatever reason we don't have a vacuum port on the pool, then we also have a skimmer vacuum plate available. And here we can see how we normally will install our leaf canister. In this case, this pool is connected to a vacuum port. As we can see, the hose from the cleaner gets connected into the leaf canister here to the top opening, and then the leaf canister gets another hose and it gets connected into the vacuum port. So the water from our cleaner moves into the leaf canister, all of the debris and all of the leaves are going to automatically stay here instead of clogging our swimming pool basket. The good thing with the leaf canister is that it's obviously a lot easier to service instead of the homeowner having to go to the pump in order to take out all of the leaves. And here we are going to see some of the cleaner, suction cleaner tips. So how to know if the Aquanaut is getting enough flow? That is very easy. We just hook it up the way we just show you with the hose and hooking it up to our vacuum line. And once the pump is running, we can just hold the cleaner right below the water level and just count the amount of RPMs, the amount of revolutions per minute that we get on our tire. And we can use this hump here as a guide. The hump is the side when the cleaner is working, And the hump is going to ensure that it doesn't get stuck on a main drain or something like that for too long, because the hump is always going to give it a little shock to the movement in order to ensure that it doesn't get stuck in any type of surface. Well, we can use that hump as well as a guide to make sure that we are getting between 11 and 14 revolutions per minute. So it means that when the unit is connected, we are holding it just below the water level, and we set a timer. And in a minute, this hump should go around between 11 and 14 times. And that is going to ensure that our unit is getting enough flow, and that is going to help us diagnose that the flow and the valve positioning that we have, it is just perfect. Also keep in mind this works on the two-wheel unit as well. We can see the hump right here on the bottom. So all of the units are going to have that little hump on the tires. Also keep in mind that if we are working with variable speed pumps and we are working obviously at lower flows, the unit is still going to work at 8 revolutions per minute, but it's not going to have enough suction to climb the walls. But that is not a problem, because even at 8 revolutions per minute, it is going to be enough for the unit to be moving around the bottom of the pool and vacuuming it for us. And here we can see the accessories that come with each of the units. The two-wheel or the four-wheel unit that comes with the flow regulator. It comes as well with a hose weight or hose floaties that we actually use in order to maintain the hose upright. And it also comes with the different throats. It comes with a vacuum, with a backlock, and it also comes with a cone, and that cone is going to help us if we are installing it on the skimmer. And it comes with all of the hoses that we described before, 32 feet on the two-wheel unit or 40 feet on the four-wheel unit. And how to connect it? We can connect it on the skimmer. As we can see here, we have a skimmer. Through the opening we are going in. We are using our flow regulator, and then we are also using this cone that I mentioned to you in order for it to securely connect to the skimmer. If we have a vacuum port on the pool, then I recommend using that, because that vacuum port is going to be that way the homeowner doesn't have to be messing with the skimmer. They are going to connect the unit and the hose directly into the vacuum port. In this case, we see how we are using the flow regulator in order to adjust our flow. But if we, on the equipment room, we have valves to where we can adjust the flow, then that is not a problem. We can go in directly with our hose into the vac lock and then just adjust the flow in our equipment room. So we have plenty of options in order to retrofit any of these cleaners into existing pools. And here, just a reminder that our cleaners on the tires, it has a wear mark. That wear mark we can see here. These are little dots on the tires, and that wear mark is going to tell us when it is time to replace the tires. The tires are very easy. It is just rubber, so we can just pop it out of the rim and put a new tire on without having to take the cleaner apart. But it is important to keep an eye on that, because that is going to ensure that the unit has consistent suction. If we go below the wear marks, then it can start scrubbing on the bottom of the pool, scraping the bottom of the pool, I'm sorry. And also keep in mind, whenever we have a robotic, a suction pool cleaner, that we need at least a 12-inch radius or a 30-centimeter radius on the bottom of the pool if we want the unit to climb the walls. If we have a perfect 90 on the bottom of the pool, then it won't be able to climb the walls, but it's still going to vacuum all of the bottom of the pool for us. And also keep in mind that any type of the returns should always be pointed downwards. Many times homeowners like to point the returns up just to get movement and so on, but that doesn't help with water circulation. So just make sure that the returns are pointed downwards as they should. And just as a recap, we saw the robotic pool cleaners, the TigerShark. We saw as well the SharkVac, the AquaVac 6 series, and the Aquanaut suction pool cleaners. Just as a reminder on the webinars, remember next week we're going to be reviewing webinars on OmniHub and OmniLogic, also on commercial pumps and filters, and automation. So make sure that you sign up visiting Hayward-webinar.com. These new webinars are going to be posted there over the weekend. And let's see if we have any questions. Here's my contact information as well in case you have any questions in the future, so you know how to get in touch with me. My name is Roberto Sablon, Sales Manager for Latin America and the Caribbean. We also have Manny Ixtawak, our Tech Manager for the area. And let me see if we have some questions here. All right, so we do have a few questions. How do we know when the basket is full? Well, remember, in the robotic cleaner on the AquaVac 6, remember that we have that indicator on the control panel on the power supply. When this there's an LED light here. When that lights up, then that's how we know that the basket is full and it should be cleaned out. This is only available on the AquaVac 6. On the other ones, on the TigerShark or the SharkVac, there's no indicator. So we do have to be proactive and every now and then open up the unit to make sure that the basket is not full. So on the others, we just have to pop the cover and just make sure that the unit is not full of leaves and twigs and that kind of stuff here on the inside. Right, let me see what other questions we have. If the basket is full and not cleaned out right away, can this cause damage to the motor? No, not necessarily. I mean, if the basket is full, for example, the AquaVac 6 that has that indicator, if the basket is full for a prolonged period of time, then it is just not going to work and it is going to protect itself. But on the other units, if the basket is full, then that is just going to decrease our performance because we are not going to get as much suction as we should. So if it is done for a very, very long time, then yes, you can damage the motor. But if it is done for a week or something like that, then that is not going to cause many issues. Let me see if we have any other questions here. Let me see, give me 1 second. All right, no, we don't have any pending questions. So I appreciate you guys joining us, and hopefully you can join us on the webinars next week. Hope you have a great weekend and see you next time. Thank you.